Sean from the American Soccer Coach. This video is about back-to-back-to-back state titles. My high school in Oregon was able to win 3 straight state titles in a row. I know that there's a lot of high school coaches on YouTube or on Twitter or on social media. So I pretty much wanted to use this video and kind of describe why I thought we were able to win 3 straight state titles in a row, because that's pretty rare that any high school can do that. And that way I know that there are a lot of people teaching in programs, and maybe somebody can take one thing from this video out of like the several things and want to implement it in their program. Just because I implement it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean that you're going to win 3 straight state titles. But yeah, I just like to share my ideas, and I think that hearing from anybody on this topic is kind of interesting. So the first thing, playing style at all levels. The 3 years we won state titles, varsity, JV, JV2, all played a 4-3-3 with a double pivot. And not just the formation, but actually the style within that. Playing to feet, goalkeepers building out the back, creating triangles, winning the ball back in 4 or 5 seconds, being a possession-oriented team, looking to dominate play with the ball. That was, rondos every single practice for all teams. Those were things that we created, and we really made sure that they were implemented at all levels of our program. That way, when players move up from JV2 to JV or JV to varsity, they knew exactly what we were expecting as coaches, both in terms of their position and like positionally where they should be, but also what to expect in terms of how to pressure the ball, in terms of what the standard is in training and stuff like that. So yeah, like within that, like some things did vary. Like certain years we played with inverted wingers, and other years we played with natural wingers, or like we might play with a traditional 9 in 2016, whereas in 2018 we played with a false 9. But regardless of like little nuances like that, we still played the same exact style every single year in terms of how we built out the back, how we possessed the ball, and things like that. Second thing, talent level. You can't win 3 straight state titles without a lot of talent. And for us, we knew that we would always have a chance of winning a state title because of our talent. It was just how could we like fully leverage that and use it to the most of our ability, making sure that our players were, challenging themselves as best as they could, both in club and in high school soccer, being good teammates, being fit, being motivated to do their best. A lot of our guys, we're trying to have soccer be a way that they can, eventually get college scholarships and help them pay for their schooling. So having talent was one thing that helped us, and it was about pushing that talent to be the best it could be. Third thing, the competition level. And I break this down to, within the squad. So even though you were a starter, it didn't guarantee that you were a starter. We made sure that the guys on the bench had that motivation, that desire, and even the knowledge that they could still start even though they're on the bench right now. And have them always pushing the guys that are starting. And then even that, same thing with our JV guys, having our JV guys trying to get those varsity spots from the guys on the bench, and just, making it obviously a healthy competition so the players know that they're appreciated, and, we're going to communicate well with them. But at the same time, knowing that, we have a standard within our program that demands the very best of ourselves. And if, we all hold ourselves to that standard, that's how, you can have success as a team, which is the most important thing. The other thing, team chemistry, probably the number one thing, in making sure that players and coaches have good relationships with each other. Knowing that, obviously, especially during games, you're going to be yelling at players, but don't just yell at them. If you're able to have conversations with players on how they can improve and what they see in the game, and pretty much just show them that you care about them. And if you show them that you care about them, you obviously, players for the most part are going to want you to push them to their very best. And so just kind of having that team chemistry and expecting the same of the players for themselves. So have each and every player should hold themselves standard, and also their teammates to a very high standard. And within that, if we all hold ourselves accountable and we're honest with ourselves, and we all hold ourselves to a high standard, it doesn't matter who scores, it doesn't matter who makes the save, it doesn't matter who makes the clearance. As long as the team's doing well, we put the team first, like that's where state titles are won, really. I mean, it's cliche, but it's true. the more you win, I mean, the more your standard gets hot. The more you win, I think the more your standard starts getting higher and higher. And so one of the things I put down is like, there's one thing, and it's like hoping to win, like just going to the playoffs and hoping you can get to the next round. And then there's expecting to win. And when you're consistently winning games, I think what happens is you start expecting to win. And, it's one thing to say that, but it's another thing to train every single day like you're preparing for a state title game. And, you win a quarterfinal game, and it's just another part of the process. You're happy, but you're not, going crazy about it, because you know that there's something greater, there's something greater on the way if you keep working hard. Recently, I think Tom Brady had, I can't remember the full quote, but it was pretty much Tom Brady had a quote, and he was talking to one of his teammates on the Patriots, was celebrating. I think they won a semifinal game, and he was celebrating, and I think he was even like teary-eyed. And Tom Brady kind of went up to him, and he's like, "This isn't what we don't play to win semifinal games. We play to win titles. Like, we got one more game left." And it's kind of just having that kind of team idea of like, we're going to hold ourselves to the highest standard possible. And that way, when you do win a state title, it's all worth it. And it is, a huge sacrifice. On top of that, I mean, our players, like, soccer isn't just a hobby. And I know that this is like a kind of a weird thing to say, but like, soccer is part of their identity. And I think when you hold something that close to you, you really take things personal, when you're not doing well. So we didn't lose that many games in the 3 years, but when we lost, like, it really hurt our guys. And when it hurt us, I mean, it was difficult. So we would have to review the film and see where we could be better, as coaches. But also the players would, the next day or the day after that, when we would train, we trained as hard as we could, because we knew that what happened was unacceptable and it's not going to happen again. And it just gave us like that extra motivation to keep pushing on and doing better. I think that's mainly it. I mean, we came from the community that the high school was at. I mean, soccer was a really big deal over there. And because of that, the community always had high expectations for the team. And so naturally, I think we had high expectations of ourselves. And, we were able to use that as a positive thing and as leverage to push us into the situation where we've won 3 state titles. There's a book. It's called The Little Boys from Mexico by an author named Steve Wilson. And I will post it in the description of this video. Great book. The community where I coached at was a predominantly Hispanic community in Oregon, which is a fairly white state. And it kind of just talked about how much soccer meant to this community and how much it meant to this school. And how for a lot of these kids growing up in immigrant families, like, soccer has been one of the first things that they saw, and they saw like, I could be very successful at this. And so it's a kind of a cool story. It's worth whatever it is. I don't know, $10 or whatever, $15. If you're into studying how soccer and culture can kind of connect people, it's really cool. On top of that, what I will do is I have videos of the 2016 season, 2017 season, 2018 season, all kind of different, but it all kind of gives you an idea of what our team was like. And yeah, thank you for watching.